Hi there, this is Niki ROwland, and today I'm making a layout for Hip Kit Club. I'm using the February kits today, so the main kit, the Project Life kit, the embellishment kit, and also the colour kit. My assignment for today is to make a layout that is inspired by this month's mood board, so the March mood board, which you'll see in just a moment. There it is. Also it was supposed to have a birthday theme. Well, I didn't have any it's so not birthday season for me at the moment, so I have no birthday photos. However, I do have a new arrival and I'm still scrapbooking his early days photos. So I'm going with that as my birthday theme, loose interpretation. What I'm going to do is be inspired by the mood board. So basically on the mood board there is a paint palette with paint brushes. It's empty, but I decided to use paint, and as we have these very beautiful paints in this month's colour kit, I thought I would use those. There's also 4 little pots of paint or powder on the mood board in a baby blue, a light mint green, yellow and a pink. So I decided to pick up on those colours, although not so much the blue, just the other 3 really. So what I'm doing is I'm using those 2 paints directly out of the pots, for the yellow anyway, and then for the pink at the top, that's also directly out of the pot. For the middle colour, the slightly orangey colour, I've mixed a little bit of yellow in with the pink to try and get like a slightly different tone colour in the middle section there. So I just literally painted those on really thick, and I wanted to have kind of chunky paint effect on there in those types of colours. So I'm also going to add 3 words from the Pinkfresh Studio Joyful Day puffy phrase stickers. Dream, adore and beautiful. They looked lovely as they were on the packaging, so I decided that I would stick them in the same formation onto my layout, and I say those paint strips are the base for those. So what I did there was I pierced holes all the way around the edge of my layout, and I have chain stitched all the way around the edge. I mixed 2 colours of thread, so I had a pink and a yellow, and I've pulled out 2 strands of each and mixed them together to make 4 strands, and then I have chain stitched all the way around the edge using that combination. It took me a little while, but I sat in front of the television one evening, watched a film and did it there. Right now I'm just adding some paint splatters over to the edge of those paint swatches, this is actually the next day now. It's all dried, all the paint swatches have dried, and now I am able to get on with creating the rest of my layout. So I'm just distressing the edges a little bit of that white cardstock. It's already trimmed down to 11.5 inches square, and I'm going to mount that onto a piece of yellow cardstock that came in the February kits, so that's going to be the border to my layout. Obviously I have the lovely chain stitch around the edge as well. It's a really good chunky stitch. I really enjoyed doing it actually. So that's going all the way around the edge of that layout, and now I'm getting my words stuck in place. They're the main feature of this layout. I want those in place before I then sort out my photo clusters on the right hand side. So just getting those in place. Dream, adore, beautiful. And I have my 2 little photos of my 3 little babies, yeah, I'm just going to create a layout about that, really, about them. The title of this layout is going to be New Adventures, because our new addition is certainly a new adventure. Those photos needed to be popped up. They were very, very white, so they need to be popped up on a little bit of colour. So they have both been mounted on journaling cards from the Project Life kit. I've chopped them down a little bit to fit the photos, obviously, and just mounted those on a very small border. I'm going to add in a Pinkfresh Studio frame here too, what I just did before, I don't know if you saw it properly, but I was testing a pen. I have a black pen, and I was testing it onto a piece of paint, a painted area that I'd practiced on last night, what I want to do is recreate the dots on the mood board. So there's dots on the coffee cup picture, and I would like to add those to my layout over the paint, but I just needed to make sure that my black pen would dry okay and not smudge. So that's drying off to one side just to make sure that this will actually work. And now what I'm doing is I'm putting my title in. So I want to use the title New Adventures. I wanted to bring in the green from the mood board, so I've pulled out all of the green letters from the Pinkfresh Studio Joyful Day multi-coloured alphabet. There was no V in green though, so I've chopped off the bottom of a Y to make the V, so it's a bit smaller than the other letters, but I think it just about works, so I'm going with that. So there is my that was my paint swatch there, and you can see that it did dry okay, it didn't smudge. So I am now going on and literally with a pen and my hand drawing in these spots. You might look at them and think they're a stamp, but they're not, they're hand drawn. So I'm just very carefully adding in lots of dots. I want them in various places around the layout, and the pen does remain wet for a little while, so I'm having to make sure that I'm very careful with not putting my hand in it, but you'll see in a moment I do exactly that, and I smudge it all on the right hand side. So annoying. However, my photo will cover those splodges, so thankfully all is okay. I managed to save the layout fine, but it didn't come off my hand for a few days, so just be careful when you're doing that. A piece of paper over the top would have been a better idea instead of putting my hand directly in it. So now that those dots are drying and in place on my layout, I can add the rest of my layout together. I'm going to mount one of the photos on a black it's a little journaling card from the Flower Market ephemera, but it's just got a black outline. So I wanted to bring in a little bit of black because there is a small amount of black on the mood board. There's some lines around the Easter bunny egg things, and some dots, and there's obviously the dots on the coffee cup. So I wanted to bring in a little pop of black here and there, not too much, didn't want it to be overpowering, but a little bit was fine. So I've got that black journaling card at the top there. I'm just adding in some embellishments. So I'm pulling out some pretty florals from the Pinkfresh Studio ephemera and puffy stickers. I wanted to include some florals because there's a nice floral picture on the mood board, as well as some yellow tulips, although I don't have any tulips in the kit. But definitely some flowers can go on there. I think anything goes. Yeah, just getting those custers sorted out. I'm using the Pinkfresh frame there because I wanted to bring in the green colour, so that's just under my bottom photo. There's little ticket tag just underneath the top photo there in pink. You can see it says on there, I'm just sticking it on now, it says be a seeker of everyday magic, which I thought was lovely, because that's what we're doing at the moment with our new baby. Every day is everyday magic. There's rhinestones on the mood board too, so we had rhinestones on the Flower Market Brad set, so I've used those onto the layout as well, and I'm just pulling through a wooden button as well in that same kind of green colour that I'm trying to pull through from the mood board. I'm very much trying to keep the green in the bottom corner, so that I have this colour block effect. So I have the pink at the top, the orangey colour in the middle, the yellow at the bottom, and I'm trying to coordinate my embellishments in the same way, just adding in some green splatters there. Directly from the paint pot. That was that's so gorgeous, that Prima paint that came in the February colour kit. And that is me done. So I'm all done there. I love the way this layout turned out. Thank you so very much for joining me today. That was Niki ROwland for Hip Kit Club.